Pick up any recent culinary magazine and you're sure to find a Tasmanian restaurant featured. Not only are they winning awards, but some are embracing sustainable practices that make the dining experience even better. Welcome to Peppermint Bay. The cornerstone of Peppermint Bay's philosophy is the development and maintenance of strong ties with the local suppliers and producers.
I think that nowadays we really like to know where our food comes from, and I've met and I've fostered some really good relationships with local growers and farmers and fishermen and cheesemakers, and it's a very interesting dynamic because we all seem to feed off each other and inspire each other, and that's kind of galvanised a bit of not a movement but a very strong community, in a sense that we're all part of something a little bit interesting and important, I suppose, yeah.
Must be like Christmas every day with all the suppliers bringing everything.
It is, it's great.
So shall we meet some of these local producers?
Yep, let's do it.
Stuart, Chris and Jamie, the Cackleberry Boys, are a group of inspiring egg farmers committed to sustainable organic practices and the humane treatment of their beloved chooks. All 1,500 of them radiate good health and vitality. Diane, Ryan and Alan operate their dairy in arguably the most scenic spot in the channel. Their East Friesland sheep's milk goes into their outstanding pecorino cheese. John Zito is one of those gifted people that can grow absolutely everything himself at his idyllic nut patch in Kettering.
About 3 years ago, we found the trees were put in for hazelnuts, but we found our first truffles just by accident. I was just pruning and smelt the first one, and gradually they've been spreading throughout the orchard. Oh, jackpot. There it is. The elusive white truffle.
Black gold.
Black gold. No, these are white gold. Oh.
That's full on, isn't it?
Mate, I can't wait to see what you're going to cook with all this local ingredients.
Oh, you're putting me on the spot, but I reckon what about soft poached egg ravioli, Huon Valley mushrooms, some nice pecorino, and of course these beautiful, beautiful truffles.
Oh, it's a tough life you live.
It is. We'll wing it.
So what's the first step, Steve?
Well, the first step, Pete, as you know, cooking pasta. I've got water boiling, and I've already made the pasta. I'm just going to put a bit of flour down, and I'm going to roll it as thin as possible. So I'll just work it in my hands a little bit first. Put a little bit of flour on it.
You're making ravioli?
Yep, making ravioli. And, the pasta dough, free-range organic eggs, of course. So I work this through until I get the right consistency. And by that I mean I want it to be quite thin. So when it cooks, and it'll only cook for a minute or so, because we want this egg yolk ravioli to be just cooked. So when we cut through it, all the egg yolk will come out and mix in with the mushrooms that we've cooked off.
So it's like a sauce?
Yes, that's exactly right. So I'm cutting into irregular shapes because I want it to look quite rustic. So now I just put a bit of egg wash over the lot, and what that'll do is when I put the ravioli together, it'll just kind of glue it slightly. And if you just grab a little bit of sea salt, now why I use that, I put a little bit onto each ravioli, and that gives it a bit of a surface for the egg yolk to sit, because otherwise it'll roll around. So we don't want that.
Very smart.
Thank you. Yeah, it's the one thing I got right, basically. Okay, then we grab the egg yolk and very carefully place it on top of the salt, and it'll sit just nicely. Just a little bit of pepper.
It's very delicate.
Yep, and now I just grab the top part of the pasta, gently push it down and go around the edges. Okay, so Pete, if I get you to saute a little bit of the onion first with some garlic, and then we'll add the shiitake mushrooms and cook that down. You nervous me standing over you watching?
I quite enjoy it.
Good, excellent. If you could also shave some Diane Ray's pecorino. Okay, Pete, I think the mushrooms are nearly done. So now it's time to cook the pasta. So I'll just secure the edges just to make sure it doesn't come undone.
You don't want that in the water, do you?
No.
And how long do you cook it for?
About a minute. So while this is cooking, I'll slice the truffle.
The magic truffle. Do you use it in much of your cooking?
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's so unique to this area. It smells beautiful. So I'll just get a few slices of that.
And what's the season for it?
It's really autumn, yeah, pretty much. Perhaps if you just pick a little bit of parsley.
Yep.
And we'll put this dish together.
Sure.
Okay, Pete, we're ready to go.
Yep.
I'll get the mushrooms. That pasta's coming along very nicely. So, into the bowl. They smell great, don't they?
Mate, I like a simple dish,
Yeah, me too. Out we go with the pasta.
but it's an interesting dish too, isn't it?
Yep, and just be careful, you're just making sure you drain as much liquid off that as possible. Onto the plate. Now, grab our Diane Ray's beautiful pecorino on top. Just let it go where it wants to go.
Yep.
Truffle's beautiful. Now, if you just sprinkle some parsley around that.
Yep.
Beautiful, look at those colours. And then the final thing is a bit of this absolutely gorgeous, look how viscous and thick
Look at
this
the colour
is.
of that.
This beautiful Signet olive oil. Who'd have thought they'd have olive oil in Tassie, eh?
Mate, they've got it all.
They have.
They've got you as well.
Oh, thank you. And that's it, that's the dish, mate.
Fantastic, mate.
Let's eat. Great, thanks. Cheers, mate.
Thank you. Thanks to Peppermint Bay too.
Yeah, thanks for your help.
Peppermint Bay has forged close links with its local producers, an integrated approach that sustains a healthy community without endangering the future.